I've asked this multiple times and I still haven't really got a good answer. So, if you're somebody that hates Xbox or is mad at Xbox right now, can you tell me why, what the reason is behind that? I would honestly love to know. I'd love to hear what the reason, what the rationale would be behind anybody that actually dislikes Xbox now, other than the fact that it's not your preferred platform. Like, there's not really anything to hate on. They have the most powerful console. They have the cheapest option for next generation console. They have more studios and more first party output than any other company right now. They have the most accessible content with stuff like Game Pass. They're very accessible if you're playing on multiple fronts like PC, console, cloud. They have all those things available. They do the cross-buy stuff with Play Anywhere. They really just have a lot of cool things going on right now. So, they're keeping fans in the know about what's coming. They've been very kind of, explanatory with that stuff. And I think that is pretty awesome to see. Now, obviously, people are going to feel sort of a different way about some of this stuff, but I feel like Microsoft shouldn't have to sort of adjust their expectations based on some of these things. But, for me personally, I would love to see more of this from Microsoft, and I would love to see less of the kind of complaining from the media and from the random people like this. All in all, I think like Microsoft has most things going for themselves. So I think that's really a cool thing. And when you look at this and you look at news like this, you really go, man, they really are having a hard time coming up with a reason to hate on this, honestly, it's just something that, to me anyway, makes a ton of sense that Xbox is kind of, I want to say, the media darling, because they should be, to be honest about it. But anyway, this was very interesting. So we know Game Pass is a good value. What is it, like $180, $200 a year, whatever it is. When you think about the skyrocketing price of games, you certainly look at it and you go, oh, well, that's definitely well worth it. But Game Pass added around $9,000 worth of games to the service in 2023 alone. So Game Pass continues to be a fantastic deal for Xbox users. TrueAchievements.com checked out how much every game added to the service would cost to buy, and it's a lot more than what people paid. So 2023 has been a hell of a year for Xbox, as the company has finally started to see the fruits of all these studio acquisitions over the past few years. And nowhere has that been more obvious than in Game Pass, the gaming subscription service and crown jewel in Microsoft's gaming portfolio. But just how much value are you getting for the money in your service? After all, prices went up in August, and Phil Spencer kind of warned everybody that prices, increases are going to be inevitable. Well, according to them, the value proposition is still looking very rosy as we move into 2024. According to the data, that games were added to Game Pass at their full price in 2023 stands at $8,763 in the US, so almost $9,000, £7,695 in the UK, $11,425 in Canada, $13,392 in Australia. Just crazy. The big hitters for this year from Microsoft include Starfield, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Redfall, Ghostwire Tokyo, Age of Empires 4. Alongside them, we had some massive third-party games joining the service, like Dragon Gating, The Man Who Erased His Name, Atomic Heart, Dead Space, Remnant 2, all very heavy hitters that a lot of people were thrilled with to turn up in the service. Also spoiled for the choice with excellent indie games too, from the puzzling delights of Cocoon to the emotionally charged cooking escapades of Venba. It's been a phenomenal year to be playing Xbox games, so here's to another great year. But think about the value proposition of that, right? Like, I've told this story multiple times before. If you're a fan of my channel, you have to realize this much at least, that video games continue to be an expensive proposition. Like, when I was a kid, we got rented video games from Blockbuster, I think twice a month. And one of the cool things about that was the ability to, we rented a game. So you basically were stuck with it. Back in that time, there was not really a ton of situations where there was no internet or anything like that when I was a kid. So, whatever you rented, you were stuck with. Sometimes you got a bad game, sometimes it was a good game, but whatever the case may be, for the entire month, you were paying more than the $17 a month that you pay for Game Pass, and you were only getting, like, me and my brother would get 2 games each. So that would be, I think at the time those to rent games was like $7 each. So you were basically, my parents were paying $30 a month to rent us 2 games each, and that's pretty crazy when you think about it. That you can get for much less than that all these years later, games that pretty much unlimited amount of games. So I think that's really cool, to say the least. I know some people try to hate on Game Pass for whatever reason. I used to look at it and go, how can they even make this anything? How can this be profitable? How can this be work for devs? But it's like, you sort of realize that developers, to be honest with you, aren't forced to do this. They're not forced to put games in Game Pass. They want to. And why do they want to? Because it works out well for them. Their games get played. I think it's really a cool thing. Obviously, when it comes to like Game Pass and a situation with people being able to play hundreds of games, I think that's awesome, like the amount of choices. Now, is anybody going to play all $9,000 worth of games that got added in 2023? Of course not. I mean, that wouldn't really make a whole hell of a lot of sense for that to be the case, but we do see that you have that opportunity if you wanted to, and I think that's really sort of where a lot of this kind of comes from. So like I said, Microsoft, they might still have a long way to go in some of these cases, but I still think at the end of the day, realistically, what they're doing is right on track with what gamers want to see. And for me personally, they've pretty much been right where I wanted them to be for a long time now. They keep offering tremendous value and things like that, which again, as a fan, just makes me happy, just makes me incredibly thrilled to kind of see that. And I want to see Microsoft continue to add these things that make it just a fantastic value. Like I said, you have Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, even Xbox One can play a lot of these games. So I can understand why they're kind of treating generations the way that they do. But anyway, like I said, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Like, realistically, what do you expect to happen in the future? Is this something that Microsoft can be can find to be sustainable? I would love to see what everybody thinks in the comments below, if you guys wouldn't mind. I appreciate each and every one of you watching. Maybe hit the like button and share it out. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. As always, just always thankful that you guys watch the videos. I know that there's a lot of competition out there for your viewing pleasure, but I appreciate the ones that do stop by and check them out. So thank you guys so much for rocking out with me. It just really does mean a lot, and I think the most, you guys are pretty damn great. So thank you guys. Have a great day. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.